Hello and welcome, as it is day number 6 of July 2018. My name is Derek and this is the Crypto Day Morning. I'd like to welcome you to the Money Charts channel and thank you for tuning into this video. All investment decisions are always via that of your own risk, own reward. For me, risk reward management is always job number one. Bitcoin down a little over 1% over the last 24 hours, but it's up since its close last night at 8 o'clock, just marginally. It's just recently had a nice little move towards the upside. We've had a very good run over the last 7 days. So this movement that we're having, there's been a lot of down moves, as we can see majority red on these markets. It's really that of a correctionary phase, but which one is it going to be? Meaning, we've had the rally. If it's able to have the small correction and build momentum with a higher low within this week's action, then that's what you would need on a bullish level. But the markets have been in such a declining mode all year long, and Ethereum class I'm going to be going over with on this one, but they've been going down for quite some time this year, that we could just be looking at another bull or bear market rally that has been occurring since July, this last week. And thus, of course, when those end, of course, you get another leg lower. We'll talk quickly about that within Bitcoin, but a lot of these markets, of course, in the red, but when you look at the charts on the right-hand side, many of them have had upwards or sideways movements throughout the week. And let's start off with the Ethereum Classic. It's got a beautiful setup on both against the Bitcoin and against the dollar, but first the dollar with the daily term time frame. Interesting pattern. And when you have situations where you have this type of break, some people say, oh, this looks like a failed breakout. And well, what do we see here? The 18 supported it. I'm looking for failure amongst such to show me signals that this is a failure. But what I see here is about 4 periods in this area in which it's just hugged or stayed within the 18 average of highs, showing strength amongst such, just staying away from the 18 average like it smells or something. You just got to get away from it, just using analogy. And so much so that it has to get well away from it within the 18 average of highs, because yesterday's session it supported such, closed well above, and now it looks as if it's lifting off, breaking some key short-term resistance. Definitely looking nice, but it's at a point of a key resistance. And because of the resistance it's had here in the short term, I wouldn't be surprised if this thing takes it out and maybe is able to maybe come up to a 61.8% correction, which would probably be somewhere close to here. And maybe, who knows how far these can go. The next target after that would be the previous high. Next target after that, I'd be looking at some highs up here. And when markets go, of course they go. We've seen so many times. There's a point in Ethereum here, or Ethereum Classic here and here. It could result into several days of some significant gains because it's got a nice bullish pattern. Crossing Ethereum Classic against Bitcoin, very bullish pattern as well. It's technically gotten above this level of resistance. And since this high, when the market comes back down quickly to the 18, there's a lot of showing strength amongst the 18 highs for over a week here. Yesterday, it broke out past the 18, and it's having continuation breakout today, which is a very important thing to see, that the following period from the breakout does such an activity and continuing it forward. So a very productive chart to say the least in here. When we look at this, say on a shorter term time frame, the single hour, this has got a very beautiful pattern, as it has its last leg higher previous or last night to this resistance level. It has 3 decent sized red period down hours, taking it to the 18 lows. And then it immediately rallies to the highs, and then it shows several periods showing strength amongst the 18 average of highs. And even though it's given a little bit of it back just in here, it's showing a lot of strength that this thing is poised and ready to have a significant break higher. Let's cross over to Bitcoin against the US dollar, which is having continuation of just sticking with this line, which is in at a 23.6% correction from the close to $10,000 highs and the most previous lows below or around 58. I think it was below, but either way. And now it's at a point where you expect it to stop going up. Well, that's done. It hasn't sold off for any type of corrections. It's just stayed within the 18 highs. You could say it's showing strength amongst such, but it really does need to very soon break out above it, and I'd be looking at a move, a relatively fast one if it does, to go above the 7,130 level. If there's any decent sell-offs from here, I think the 18 average of lows, which is currently priced in at 6,217, would be an interesting area I'd be looking for in that of support. 1 hour time frame, this thing recently got going, but it's obviously given back some of its gains that it has had, as when these things go, they just go. 15-minute time frame, it happened in its only period. It did break a level above this resistance, so short term 65 change to, well, 65 low change, 65 and a third to 65 and we'll say 65.30 to 65.60 is the area in which it's basically needs to hold for any type of corrections that may come down. But 1 minute time frame, you're going to see this thing just went huge, 2 periods, 2 minutes, in which it's had its gains. It's now within part of its correctionary mode, and it's not moving too much. Let me see if Bitstamp or Coinbase has a better chart on the 1 minute. This is the Coinbase one, and the Bitstamp one will look like, and this is got some red candle opens and closes that I'm not a fan of, but it actually has more movement. But either way, it's having its correctionary move from this point. I want to talk about altcoin 10x, or ticker symbol PAY, next, as this is a buyback in which I had 3 sell orders that got filled within this rally from this low of 7,500 to this high at 14,000. The sell orders were in at the 3 levels of 86.5 was the first one that I would have sold up here. So I must have bought the low. 97.5 I sold again. And then 12,000 I sold. So I never got any of this selling, which is fine. But I've just managed to buy back this one. I'd buy back this one probably somewhere near a previous low and buy this one back at a lower low based on my buy low, sell high strategy. But I'm going to not talk about that. I'm going to talk about market dynamics and what a move like this really indicates. Because when we look at this on a daily term time frame, this has been in a constant downtrend since it originated its first rally, or from the August highs. Its participation in the December rally last year was towards such, but it didn't get anywhere near its previous highs, where some coins did or break such, so it had a bad decline versus its rally. It's already given back all of its gains from the, of course, December lows. And when you have these failed moves, these failed breakouts, as was shown with situations like this, and even to this extent here as well, that in the bear market, when you come to those key areas of support after leaving the 18, if that's what it's going to do, you're oftentimes going to be expecting a bear market. It seems as if it's safe to point out that during a bull market phase, like we see from April 1st through the end of the month, like was shown for the month of December and most cases into January, like was shown last year from March, April, and even the months of May, in some cases into June, everything rallied together at the same time, that if you threw darts and just randomly chose, just shuffled cards to just pick which coins you were going to choose, you probably got very good gains. So to think that if a situation like that happens again, this would probably do so as well. But if it would stay bearish, This thing is at a point now where this thing could go up to like say 31, have a 3x move, and still make a lower high that could later just do its normal things of lower highs and lower lows. And it could even work out to the point that we have monstrous rallies where almost everything breaks its summertime highs from last year, but maybe this may only get up to here, and that might be a top we'll never see again. Those are things that are definitely always possible within the markets, but when the altcoins together work in harmony, oh boy, do they ever go in such that of harmony. And finally, I'll just stick up code SOLUS, or ticker symbol SLS. And within this movement, we've seen that the 18 average has gone a little sideways. There was one rally attempt in here, but it didn't fail that badly really amongst the 18 lows. It did decline a bit extra as it was grinding it lower, but it never had any large break below such. But just recently, it had this little rally. So this was something I sold at the upper end here, or it definitely sold much higher than it is now. But if a rally like this fails, you would be seeing these types of moves, and after the fact, not surprised to see decline, because you had this rally. It immediately declined it, as we are seeing such. But the 18 average, if it's going to be able to hold this, and then you look at something like this, basically what you're doing is you're giving, or what the market's doing, is it can easily be giving situations or patterns for very good gains, because this last move has at least now established a level of resistance, a 2-hit time. So if anything can happen where it finds support here, you see it showing strength amongst 18 highs, any of that kind of thing, well, it could work out that this code could have a very good setup brewing, and then of course breaking a level of resistance. You're expecting, like so many times before, these monstrous moves, and simply just not even caring about technical analysis, but just playing the numbers game, having your sell orders ready in place. Maybe you have one, say right now, well, if I were to buy right now, sell order below this level, we're talking about a gain of 20%, going from 40 to over 48. And then maybe you put a sell order, say somewhere up here. And then maybe you might want to put one up here, and then sell again up here. And then if you buy now, I don't want to buy on a previous hit low, so maybe I'm going to put a buy order here. That's basically the general way I like to play the game. So thank you for tuning in to this morning's video, and have yourself a great day and a great weekend. Bye-bye.